Once in a while, we like to take the road less traveled by. And while sometimes that involves pavement, sometimes it leads you down a little dirt path. That little dirt path tonight is Rossburg, Ohio's Eldora Speedway, owned and operated by NASCAR legend Tony Stewart. This half-mile clay bullring doesn't have an ounce of aggregate. 3WideRacing goes dirt racing tonight in their Triple Crown event. 3 weeks of the best dirt tracks out there with a big old dirt street stock. Why, you're making me laugh. I can barely maintain my composure. Finian, tonight, a short, quick 60-lap race with them. Big old heavy street stock. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch this one for sure.
I know you're good at English, but really, Mark Twain? Like, really?
Well,
I didn't see you type that up. I wish I did.
That purposely kept you from seeing it so that you wouldn't make me not do that, but...
Oh, but yeah, right. we got a relatively short event here tonight for the Dirt Triple Crown for 3-Wide. Yeah, again, only 3 races for this Dirt Series, and then tomorrow night's the sister series in the IndyCars. It's a very short season for these guys ahead. It's going to be a very short event as well. Only 60 laps here, and only a feature.
Well, yeah, and here's the good thing about that for the drivers is the track will be gripped up, and you can probably go bottom to top. You see a little bit of worn-out racetrack up in that upper groove, but these street stocks, Finian, compared to the late models we were racing on Saturday night, these things are not going to drive very good. They're big, they're heavy, you kind of have to hang the rear end out a little bit, use that cushion, but they react very slowly to steering input.
Yeah, and you can't even hang out that rear end that much. You can see these guys go relatively straight compared to a lot of other dirt cars. There's a little bit of sliding, but these don't grip. You can't really force the back end out as much. You kind of have to drive them almost like a little bit like a asphalt car, so... it's a little bit different driving strategy, but it also allows for you guys to get a little bit aggressive with these bodies. These things can really take a hit, so you might see a lot of aggressive driving here tonight.
Well, this is a very different thing than we were just watching. These guys finished up their truck series a couple weeks ago, and you know, some things change and some things don't. And one of those things that didn't change is Matt Grunberg, right back at the top of the board where he belongs. He's been amazing on short tracks in the truck, and I guess he's good at dirt too in that street stock.
Yeah, again, one of these drivers that we really think is going to be a threat going into next season for 3-Wide. So nice to see him having some solid pace, as well as David Wilson in the 39, having a good time tonight so far, qualified up to second at the moment.
And here's a guy totally not in his element here this week. Peter Short, the number 22, did well in the dirt races in the truck, but this is such a different kind of racing. These cars have dirt tires on them, so it means they're a lot grippier on this surface. You see Short struggling there mid-corner, though. These things drive a lot differently. They're kind of awkward to drive, in my opinion, and this is not really the dirt car that is known for, you know, stereotypical dirt racing, but I think it's a lot of fun, and you see Peter Short getting around there right now, not really having the qualifying session he would like, but he's about 0.7 of a second off the pace, so wants to improve that a little bit here in the final minute of qualifying, but looks like Matt Grunberg in that 54 at the top of the board, he might stay there.
And notably, also another driver doing really well at the moment is the 87 of Richard Hines. Haven't talked about him too much in the truck series, stayed around midfield, but always on the dirt events was where he was able to shine. Another notable driver here, Kyle Hanshaw. And I was wondering where that pace was. I was looking at his times in practice.
He didn't actually have a lap up until just now in qualifying, and I was watching. I was about to point him out that he hadn't put a lap in yet. I said, watch this guy jump right to the top of the board. And he goes in P2, 64 thousandths of a second behind Grunberg.
Yeah, has one win on the dirt side of things in the truck series. At I believe Knoxville.
Yes, was the race Knoxville. He did win in the trucks and struggled really at the asphalt stuff, but this is where he belongs and this is where he's good. And Kyle Henshaw looking real solid right now. Again, Grunberg out there just getting some practice. So again, the track state kind of worn out here a little bit, but it's not going to transition very much like we saw at Lima Land on Saturday with the Midwest Late Model Racing Series. There it started out real green, and by the end of the night was very slick. This is going to kind of start out about 75-80% of the way slicked up, but it's not going to get very far past that.
Definitely not.
All right, qualifying is pretty much concluded here, and Matt Grunberg will be your pole sitter here tonight. Kyle Hanshaw will meet him on the outside of the front row, but that is it for qualifying here for the Dirt Triple Crown event number 1 here at Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. Again, a half-mile clay oval owned by NASCAR's Tony Stewart. So qualifying is complete, and the dust clouds will settle. And self-proclaimed world's greatest dirt track. We'll see about that here tonight. I love this place, Finian. It's very round. We'll take a look at our Our conditions here tonight, 78 in the air, 78 in the track. Beautiful evening here in Rossburg, Ohio. A little bit partly cloudy conditions, but you see how round that track is here, Finney. Not a lot of time to get that throttle down.
No, definitely not. And this, honestly, is probably one of my favorite dirt tracks to drive at. It's just nice and big in the corners. You can really move around a lot. This is one of those tracks where you can really use a lot of lanes throughout most of the race. So we're definitely going to see guys take advantage of that. Also see the different lines as they move up and down the racetrack as the night goes on.
And we know there's going to be a lot of movement going around. So well, I guess we'll see who can conquer the dirt here tonight. The 46 and 54 will start on the front row. And you see them on pit road right now. And behind that pace truck there. And it's cool to see that pace truck. It's always a nice change of pace than, compared to the rough or the Ford FR500 Mustang, as I like to proclaim. But let's take a look at our starting lineup here on the front row. The 54, Matt Grunberg, and the 46, Kyle Hanshaw. Both in street stocks here tonight and manufacturerless here this evening, but they're based on an old Camaro.
And then moving on to row number 2, we have David Wilson, the 39, having a good qualifying run, and William Kruska in the 8 in 4th place.
That rounds out row number 2. We'll move back to row number 3. We hear the fireworks, Richard Hines and Kevin Jadrosich in 5th and 6th. There's the fireworks exploding here as they pace here at Eldora Speedway.
And then back in 7th, we have Levi Zielinski, notable from the Truck Series, as well as Johnny Thomas in the 83 outside of him.
Jordan Teal in the 33 car. He'll be right alongside Jordan McKeevoy in the number 21. They'll be running out your top 10.
Moving on back to 11th place, we're going to have Nathan Velez in the 48. And then in 12th outside of him will be Drew Eisenman.
Eisenman, that's correct. It's been a while since we've talked with these guys. Chad Brown and Carlos Acosta in 13th and 14th in the 64 and 24 respectively. Chad Brown will be on the inside, Acosta on the outside.
And rounding out our grid, I believe it should be rounding out our grid, Kevin Finn in the 14, and outside of him will be Peter Short in 16th. Actually, there might be one more driver.
Yeah, there is one more, but it'll be Corey Lindsay. The most important of them all. And Corey Lindsay will be running out our field. 17 cars on the grid here tonight. The 54. Matt Grunberg starting the pole. Pace cars off. 60 laps at Eldora underway. Green flag in the air. Already Kyle Hanshaw way up to the outside of the racetrack trying to get grip up there. And he'll drive right around the outside of the 54 of Grunberg. Excellent move by Kyle Hanshaw. He goes to the lead.
And you see back there, midfield, 3 wide now, already trying to battle for position. This is, I believe, for 5th or 6th position here. 97 to Levi Zielinski up the middle. He's got the 42 of Kevin Jadrosich on his outside, and there's Johnny Thomas in the 83 down on the outside as well, right up against that wall, using that cushion to move himself forward. Yeah, great job there. Didn't even hit the wall. He was that close to it, though. So he's starting to make some inroads. Look at Grunberg trying to find grip all the way down at the bottom of the racetrack and almost alongside Kyle Hanshaw. That's going to be a tricky place to make a pass, though. Going to struggle to get that power off the corner. Yeah, and there you see he's struggling there as Hanshaw takes the lead, and the 8 of Kruska is going to try to follow in through. And Grunberg's really stuck out there on the bottom. Look at the line that 54 is taking. That's a risk here early. There's going to be grip down there now, but not so much later. Behind them, there's Kevin Jadrosich in the number 42 with Levi Zielinski right on his rear bumper. Johnny Thomas and Richard Hines fight for 7th behind him. You see Jordan Teal also trying to move up through the field, trying to make a pass on the 87 of Richard Hines. Hines actually dropping back, I believe, 3 spots since the opening laps. Oh, little Jordan Teal bounces off the wall there. Just gets the right rear. You see that a lot of that tonight here. These cars got the power down to almost 100 miles an hour on the straightaway. Not quite. You see them all kind of gravitating up towards the top of the racetrack. Look up ahead. You can see William Kruska following Kyle Hanshaw for the lead. Grunberg is settled in the 3rd. Yeah, these guys have to quickly try to find a way to get around their competitors as they're all running pretty much the same line. That's the tricky part about dirt racing here, Finian, is it can be mostly single line once you get rolling, and that's going to mean you're going to have to use a bumper to get by guys here, and Kruska might have to lean on Kyle Hanshaw to move his way forward. David Wilson in the 39. Haven't talked a whole lot about him tonight. That Twitch Chevrolet Camaro. He's trying to get ground to go forward. But oh, and some contact back midfield. Zielinski is losing a lot of spots. He was up with Thomas, and I think he might have hit the wall and lost some position. Trying to fight now with Richard Hines. As Hines trying to work on the outside of him, he's going to get that position. Zielinski's going to fall back further. Yeah, Zielinski a little bit loose there on the exit of turn 2, and he'll try to get that wound back up. It bounces off the wall again, really using up that right side of the car here early. Got to conserve some for the end of the race. I know it's short here, Finian, but you got to keep the right sides on the car to move yourself forward. Yeah, definitely this is something you should probably, should only be really hitting the wall towards the end of the race. You see now Grunberg out of line. He's going to dive again to the bottom side of the track, trying to make it work.
Alongside Hanshaw, but not going to lose all the momentum there. He might get the 39 of Wilson to his outside now. He might take that spot away if he doesn't get down there far enough to complete that pass. Trying to do a slider, but these cars don't quite have enough power for that to be an effective move.
Yeah, I don't think so there, and Wilson looks like he might be able to get the spot.
Levi Zielinski behind is really struggling with grip in 9th right now.
But up for the front, I think Kruska's trying to battle for the lead here with the 46 of Hanshaw. It looks like it's going to be a losing fight here.
To the inside, going to try to pull the slider. Contact, puts Hanshaw on the wall. The 8 car is going to spin around. Midfield caution is out here at Eldora. Whoa! Hit by Jordan Teal. Up on his lid goes Kruska. And caution flies here at the 10 lap mark. Let's go back and take a look at it. See him alongside the 46 of Hanshaw here. Goes down, tries to pull the slider here, Finian, but does not clear the 46 and pulls across alongside him and just gets loose underneath him after they contact and gets turned around there by the 83 Johnny Thomas, and Jordan Teal has nowhere to go and just loops over the 8 car. But Jordan Teal, a lot of damage to that car. He'll probably be retired. Right on board with Jordan Teal. See the crash happening up here. Slow, lazy spin for the 8, but nowhere to go, and horrible collision.
Yeah, very hard to change direction mid-corner in a dirt car, so Teal really, like you said, had nowhere to go, and looks like he's going to be out of this race, as well as Kruska in the 8.
The question is, does Hanshaw have any damage? Looks like he does, but shouldn't affect him too much. That right side's pretty bent in, but he should be okay with that. Doesn't look like it affected the suspension too much.
Yeah, pretty much all these guys need to worry about if there's any handling damage, any body work, that's completely fine. No aerodynamics really here in these cars, so other than that little lip of a spoiler in the back, but nothing much for these guys to work with. But yeah, if there's nothing wrong with the handling, he's going to stay out. He's going to take the top side notably on this restart, and Wilson's going to be to his inside.
William Kruska and Jordan Teal out of the race here, lap number 10. We're going to come back around, restart it. Kyle Hanshaw will be your leader. He'll be starting on the outside of David Wilson, and that 46 car will be your control vehicle for the restart as the truck. The Chevrolet Silverado will pull off and leave the field in the hands of Hanshaw. Pace truck pulls off. Green flag flies again here, lap number 14 at Eldora.
Oh, and Grunberg got a very poor start. And he's going to lose. Started in 4th. He's going to remain there. Was still really overtaken by the 83 of Thomas. Thomas now working on the outside of Wilson.
Kevin Jadricic was middle 3 wide there for a second, Finian, and he might be here in a second if the 97 of Zielinski can get to the inside. There's Peter Short, not getting a good qualifying effort, but he's moving forward very quickly up to 7th. That yellow and blue number 22.
Yeah, solid job by Short to move up through the field.
Oh man, was it Eisenman? Eisenman in the 77 was riding the wall there in the first couple corners. Really strong. Oh wow, the 97 up on the side. That car is going to be damaged after riding it that far, Finian.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think he's just trying to stay out of the way of everyone, or that I think actually he's got significant handling damage.
Yeah, let's go back and take a quick look at it. We're not going to pull you away for too long. Here's another look at the contact. It rides up onto the fence for a second. That was a Lightning McQueen move right there. Caution's out here again. And it looks to be like it's Kevin Jadricic, and a little bit of right front damage to that machine, but let's go back and take a look.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was running in around 6th or 7th place.
Yeah, right in front of Peter Short here. There's the 87. Oh, that looks like Richard Hines just bounced off the wall and sent the 42 flying. Nothing intentional there, just racing incident.
Yeah, that 42 should be flying. Got a decent hit to that right front. That's really the only thing he's got to worry about.
And not much he could have done there.
Yeah, I would say you're just a passenger at that point.
Throw it back in gear and get himself rolling again. Back up front, Kyle Hanshaw. I think we walked into this knowing he'd be competitive, but this has been even surprising me. I'm surprised Grunberg was trying that inside lane, couldn't get it to work, and has slipped back to 4th. And the farther he goes away, that's going to be a bigger and bigger struggle to get those spots back.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing here is that I can't exclusively know this.
Words.
I can find words. Give me a second. But I think the track state might have carried over from what we're seeing is the track state carrying over from practice and maybe in qualifying as well. So I think that's really worn out the surface towards the bottom. That's why we're seeing everyone gravitate towards the top so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it really does look like it's a single-line racetrack for the most part. We saw the 8 of William Cruz could try to pull a slider on Kyle Hanshaw, was not able to get it done. I think if you're close enough or you're alongside the guy heading into the corner, you can make that work, but it's going to be a real brave maneuver and a real high-skill maneuver to get that to function. You can see how glossy the track surface is in that middle to upper groove. The real grip is right up against that cushion there. So there's not even grip up in the high lane. It's just right up against that wall. And everywhere else is kind of no man's land. Restart lap number 20.
AC Wilson got a pretty good restart on Hanshaw. Does he try to dive down low to make a pass?
He threw it in there pretty deep, but a little bit too much angle. We got the 77 of Eisenman spinning in turn 1 and 2. The 14 of Kevin Finn's going to go around. Caution's going to be out again. The 24, Carlos Acosta, piles in as well. So caution out here instantly, and we always say cautions breed cautions. Well, let's take another look at it. 77 was up in the fence already. Gets turned off the nose of, I believe it was the 21 car of Jordan McKeevoy, and it was just kind of a chain reaction from there.
Yeah, that just looked a lot like this guy's kind of going for the same amount of racetrack.
See a 77 slide up in front of McKeevoy there. McKeevoy just gets him just enough and hooks the 14 around, and around he goes, and nowhere for the 24 Carlos Acosta to go. Good thing about short tracks, though, very quick cautions. The 14 of Kevin Finn coming down pit road, but the last couple of laps have been harsh on the car count here. We've had a bunch of cars drop out. Kevin Finn and Acosta down in pit lane trying to fix crash damage. They're parked in very close quarters down there on pit lane.
Yeah, and also Hines is out, so you pretty much got effectively 13 guys still running, and 11 of them on the racetrack now and down in the pits. So it looks like Acosta's out and back on the racetrack. We yet to see if Kevin Finn is back out. He's still in the pits.
Well, here to go. Laps down very quickly here at Eldora because the laps are so short. We already have 1 to green, so they're coming back to the restart next time by. So these drivers got to get themselves back out on the racetrack if they want to compete here. Again, there's only 2 more rounds left in this after tonight. It's just a three race season Triple Crown event, so you're going for the gold here. There's no finishing 5th. You got to win it.
And speaking of winning it too, these guys don't have that much time to work with here. If we go green now till the end, it's going to be only 12 minutes of racing. So any of these guys towards the front of the field have a shot at winning it, but they got to work fast.
And Kyle Hanshaw knows what he needs to do. See Grunberg down there in the 3rd spot. Green flag back in the air here at Eldora, and Kyle Hanshaw gets a fantastic restart. Jumps out, clears himself before turn number 1.
And so did Johnny Thomas. He's about to clear Wilson, and he does as they head off out of turn 2.
64, Chad Brown tried to chuck one down the inside. Didn't get a whole lot with it, but certainly put the effort in. David Wilson sliding up. He might be under attack from the 54 Grunberg, but look up here, Finney. Look at Johnny Thomas chasing down Hanshaw. Remember, Johnny Thomas won Eldora in the trucks. So this guy's good at this racetrack, and put him in a truck, put him in a street stock, he's just as skilled and started in the 8th spot up to 2nd. Doesn't have a scratch on that car just yet. And he's worked, well, he does, but on the front where it's supposed to be.
Oh, and he's trying to go to the outside of Hanshaw. Hanshaw left a little bit of a gap. Thomas is trying to go for it.
Oh, into the wall there. You see him brush up against that fence and rub some of the mud off the letters of Eldora Speedway, but he is trying to chase down that 46. He might be the only one fast enough to do it here tonight.
He's going to try his hardest, and he's seeing that Hanshaw is not using that. You see, guys, typically that's the line that you run. You cut in a little bit coming out of 4, so Thomas is trying to use that to get to the outside because he knows if he can do that, at least he'll be able to make the pass. He feels like he can't make it on the inside.
Riding on board with Johnny Thomas to the inside of the 46. Got alongside the quarter panel. Couldn't do a whole lot with it. Trying to gas up. Look at him working that wheel on the left-hand side. There's a lot of steering input going on, but he's following the 46 of Hanshaw. Will we see a bump and run here, Finney, when it comes down to the closing laps?
Well, first he's got to stop bumping the wall. But yeah, no, definitely. I feel like we're going to see a bump and run. Definitely, these guys are just making it. It's just so hard to pass here. Honestly, might either a bump and run or might see a diving Hail Mary in 3 or 1 on the final lap.
I think Johnny Thomas is going to put himself in a good position for that. But behind them for 3rd, David Wilson and Grunberg fighting. And Grunberg, again, I thought I would see a little bit more speed out of him in the longer runs here, but just struggling to get grip and move himself back forward. Yeah,
struggling to find a way to move up the grid. He's one of the only drivers that's really trying that inside line, and is just too worn out and just too slow with these cars that he can't get it to work.
There's not enough horsepower in these cars. If they had more horsepower, you could get the drive off, but bogs the engine down and not a whole lot of torque here in fourth gear, so long that you lose that torque, and it's a real big struggle to get the power down on corner exit. Look at the dirt bouncing off the fence. Gruenberg giving everything he can to get up to the rear bumper of David Wilson. Wow, here he goes back to the inside again. But again, just bogs down and unable to complete the pass.
Unable to complete the pass, and here goes Peter Short behind him in 5th place. Again, one of those drivers I really didn't think we'd be talking much about tonight, but he's up now in the top 5, trying to get into 4th with Gruenberg ahead of him.
Well, let's say one thing. We've never doubted his skill. Peter Short,
no.
Again, fantastic season in the 3-wide Nathan Young Designs Truck Series, and unfortunately didn't win the championship after having a dominant season. But here he is tonight showing why he's so good. It doesn't matter if you put him at a road course, at a restrictor plate race, at an intermediate, or dirt track. He is absolutely a very skilled driver, trying to get 4th away from Matt Gruenberg.
And you see that Gruenberg and...
3rd place now. Look at David Wilson into the wall. He's struggling.
Yeah, I would say Gruenberg and Short both got around him while we were riding on board. So now Peter Short was trying to get around Gruenberg as well, making a 2-for-1 deal. Wasn't able to get it done, so he's going to have to settle in for 4th right now.
Behind him, Isaac. Ooh, we hear contact there, and Kevin Giadrasic around, as is Carlos Acosta, and the 24 goes for a loop, and they'll continue.
And no caution yet.
But look at the lead here, Finian, 0.2 of a second separate Hanshaw and Thomas. Hanshaw trying to ride away from Johnny Thomas, but can't get away. That's leaving him. Well, we look out the rear, can't even see the 83. He's so close. He is really trying in that Carhartt Chevrolet Camaro behind him.
Yeah, and out of sight too, trying a little bit lower line. You see Hanshaw blink out just for a second there. But yeah, I wonder if Thomas now is... I think he is going to try to do this. He's going to try to just kind of bide his time, let these laps run out. He knows that Hanshaw is right there in front of him, and all he needs to do is just give him maybe a little bit of a bump or do a Hail Mary. One of those two options are available, but it's going to be really hard to do a traditional pass here.
Yeah, I think you might see maybe a little push in one corner, get him all bobbled up, and then go for a dive in the next. I think that's a good way to do it here, but... Hanshaw, I thought, was going to run away with this, and he's got to fight off from Johnny Thomas if he wants to win this thing. Matt Gruenberg and Peter Short closing back in, though.
Yeah, they're actually both a little bit faster that last time through.
Oh, they're both in the wall in turn 1 and 2, really running all the effort out of those cars. Look at Peter Short bounce off the wall, really using up that right side. Look at the wheel work going on there. I'm not envious of their position right now, having to work that wheel. I'm nice in this air-conditioned broadcast booth. They're down there fighting through the mud. That's all right, guys, but they're going for the big bucks. And wow, contact between the 54 and 22, but Johnny Thomas close. Here comes down to the inside. Can he complete the pass? Throw a slider here. This might be... He does! Slide job for the 83, Thomas.
But the 46 is just going to turn it in. He's going to be able to drive away. But is Thomas able to maintain the outside lane? No, he's not. So...
Wow. Oh, all 4 of the leaders in the wall, but that shows the slide job can work, Finney, if you get it done just right. Hanshaw on the wall, he's all out of grip here. Here comes the 83, Johnny Thomas back down to the inside, but didn't get enough of a run. That's going to lead the 54, Matt Gruenberg, to take that spot away. Here comes Peter Short to the outside.
And he's going to get freight train. You see him trying to block Peter Short, get his line to the outside, and there goes Gruenberg to the inside. Here comes the slide job.
And again, slides up in front of the 46, can't complete the passes. Hanshaw drops down to the bottom.
Is he going to have a fender, though? That's what counts. No, and you see Hanshaw run him up to the wall there, trying to secure that position. Now with Thomas trying to wall ride on the outside of him. Not able to do it. Little bit of a bump there, shove him to the inside, and Thomas looks like he's going to try to get second place.
Turned into a dogfight. Here comes a 54 Gruenberg contact with the 46 of Hanshaw. Hanshaw drives away. Johnny Thomas takes second back away. Can he do the slide job again down to turn 1? 20 laps to go.
I don't know. As they come into turn 4, there you see, ooh, Thomas slides in front of Hanshaw, and he's going to take the lead there.
Wow, Hanshaw, this is the first time he's been out of the lead since the beginning of the race. Johnny Thomas leads now. Gruenberg second, slides up in front of Thomas, can't quite get there. Thomas will drive away. Hanshaw contact with the second place driver. Down to the inside, makes contact with the inside wall. He's all out of grip. He'll have to go up there and drive back up.
Yeah, and lost a significant amount of time. He's got a little bit to work with, though, if he can drive back up, but he's got 3 guys to try to pass, and Thomas looks like he's going to start driving away, but he's hit the wall, though, as is Gruenberg and Short.
Yeah, these guys are really struggling to find grip in that outer lane. They're just jumping the cushion and smacking the wall, and there's not a whole lot out there for them to grab. There's all that loose dirt's what they're looking for, and it's about 2 feet off the wall that they're trying to use, but very quickly, Gruenberg shrinking that lead on Johnny Thomas. 17 to go, and Gruenberg's closing in. Was 3/10 quicker that last time through. This fight is not over yet. Gruenberg was the fastest in qualifying. I expect him to be fast here in the race as well. Closing that gap. Here he comes.
And he's running a really nice line right now compared to Thomas. Very smooth is Grunberg's line, so we'll see what he's going to be able to do. Again, I wonder
Oh,
if... Ooh.
Both of them smack the wall hard in turns 1 and 2. Onto the back straightaway. Johnny Thomas is loose on corner exit, smacks the wall again. Here comes Grunberg back down to the inside.
Grunberg looked like he was trying to go back in, but hit the 83 of Thomas, so I think he's not going to be able to do it, and yep, he's going to have to settle in back in a second.
How far back is Handshot? Can he get that car wound back up? Last time through was quicker than everyone but Peter Short. But not by much. Only 15 to go here, Finney. About 5 minutes of racing left in this race. Johnny Thomas has the lead, but there's some lap traffic up ahead, too.
Yeah, I think he's good. What Hanshaw needs is these guys to start fighting like they were a few laps ago. That's really his only shot at getting back up to these guys.
Grunberg's close. Does he go to the bottom? Nope, he stays right behind Johnny Thomas. Going to wait till he gets a little bit closer. Closing in, and that's the lap car of Carlos Acosta in the 24. Onto the back straightaway now, nose to tail, the 83 and the 54.
Acosta is still there on the inside, so Grunberg is going to get clear there. He's going to try to get a run on the inside.
Great run by the 54. Now he's going to try to go to the bottom and get this pass done. He's got one shot to do it, or else he won't be leading. Up the racetrack he goes. Johnny Thomas pulls back down side by side on the backstretch. 83 comes up, almost clears the 54. Contact between the leaders.
Yeah, he's going to try to he's going to try to bully the 54 out of line, and he did exactly that, but that's allowed Peter Short now to catch back up.
Peter Short trying to sink a nose in outside of Grunberg. Grunberg won't let it happen. 13 to go. Running out of time. Grunberg in the wall, bounces off, trying to get that car rotated and back up to the rear bumper of the 83. You could throw a blanket over the top three. Henshaw losing ground behind him.
Yeah, this is one of the best battles on the racetrack at the moment between these three guys. And again, I wonder what Peter Short's got. Haven't seen a lot out of him. He's been slowly, methodically moving his way up to the front of the field. We'll see, does he have enough to make a pass?
Second and third place, bouncing off the concrete, trying to get themselves moving back forward. Johnny Thomas beginning to drive away. Short, wicked loose up at turn 2, all the way down the back straightaway. Grunberg using that wall, hanging the right rear quarter panel on it, trying to get some grip to move forward, but he's going to have one more opportunity to get to the rear bumper of Johnny Thomas. We're coming to 10 to go.
10 to go, and wow, Grunberg almost riding that wall there. In 1 and 2, he's going to come on the back straightaway, try to get a run on Johnny Thomas, but it looks like Johnny Thomas starting to make a little bit of a gap here.
Yeah, Thomas is up now by half a second over Matt Grunberg, and with 10 to go, I think there'll be one more opportunity if Grunberg can get that car rotated in the right direction, but Thomas was quicker last time by 0.3, but here he's in the wall, stuck against it, Vinny, and it's going to lose him a lot of ground.
You see Grunberg trying to make up some time. Peter Short's also lost some time to these guys.
Kyle Hanshaw out, about 2.7 back from the lead. Unless there's a caution, he won't be back in this fight. Peter Short's waiting in the wings if something happens with the leaders. Grunberg will be the only one to have a shot at Johnny Thomas as we come around back to 7 to go next time by.
And Grunberg needs to make sure his next few laps are flawless before he can make that final shove to the inside. And you definitely know he's going to plan on doing that. He's done that all night long.
Great run through 3 and 4 up to the rear bumper of the 83, but he needs to get a little bit closer to make that move.
And we got a lap car here. That's McEvoy in the 21.
Grunberg is so close. He might throw a Hail Mary all at the end regardless, but up to the rear bumper, even closer. He's very consistent right now, running quicker to the quarter panel of the 83. He goes, can't quite get the long side. And in turns 1 and 2, the 83 bounces off the wall hard, as does the 54, to the rear bumper. Grunberg trying to get to the inside down the back straightaway. The 83 slips. Here comes Matt Grunberg's going to try to slide her down on the inside. Can he clear the 83?
Should got it.
Do the cut back under. Here they go, side by side, 5 laps to go this time through.
And there you go, new leader, Grunberg in the 54 now, coming to the late stages of this race. Thomas has got 5 laps to retaliate to this. But I don't know, does he have enough to get around Grunberg?
He's running real smooth right now. He's just got to collect himself, get back up there. Keep yourself out of the wall. The 54 is running real strong. Here comes Johnny Thomas back to the rear bumper. 4 to go this time through. Johnny Thomas is there. He's just got to be real consistent and not do that, not get into the wall, but he's right on the rear bumper of the 54.
I think he's going to try to have to bump him out of the way. I think that's Thomas's only shot. But we'll see what he's going to do now as they come down to 3 laps to go.
Will he lay the bumper? It's been pretty clean racing up here for the most part, but last lap on a short track, on a dirt track, bumpers are fair game. 3 laps to go now. Matt Grunberg has it. Johnny Thomas wants it. Got to be flawless here. Both these drivers trying to get everything they can. Look how glossy the track is. Not a whole lot of grip there. Having to hang that right rear in the cushion as we come to 2 to go. Grunberg just absolutely hitting his marks right now. It's going to be real hard for Thomas to get there. Maybe one final slide in 3 and 4 on the white flag lap, but that's going to be a Hail Mary for sure. But he's close here, finishing a good run through 3 and 4 for the 83. We got one more lap to go. White flag in the air here at Eldora.
Yeah, I just think Gruenberg's been running a much cleaner line. He's got 4 more corners to go, and they both hit the wall.
That might be it for Johnny Thomas. He hit the wall a little bit harder. He's going to have one more opportunity. Does he throw the slide job in turns 3 and 4? Is he close enough? Here he comes to the inside.
He's going to have to gas it up. I don't think it's going to be enough, and no, it doesn't look like it.
Out of turn 4, Matt Gruenberg wins at Eldora in the 3-wide Triple Crown first event. Johnny Thomas comes home second. Peter Short, a solid third place. Kyle Hanshaw rolls across the line in fourth. That's got to be disappointing for that 46 car. Dominated the majority of the race.
Yeah, dominated the majority of the race, and I wonder if he's probably not going to be happy with some of the guys to the front there. Kind of bullied him out of their way and made him lose a lot of time that he was not able to recover from.
So Hanshaw damaged his vehicle and was not able to keep that going, but we see the 54 celebrating on the front straightaway as we look from high above, the fireworks exploding for Gruenberg. Doing burnouts on that front straight.
It's going to be kind of hard to do burnouts in this thing. The power output is so low.
And that 54, well earned though. I mean, he was the quickest car in qualifying, was struggled a little bit.
Yeah, look how clean, well, not literally, but as far as damage is concerned, how clean that car is. Not a dent.
He didn't use much of the bumper, and again, Matt Gruenberg known for being a very clean driver here at 3-wide and has had a lot of success in the trucks. Came in late to the season, but here he is now and a winner in the Triple Crown first week. And I think this is going to be the guy to beat. We've put that out on the table already, and the other guy that to beat would be the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw, but a little bit of damage involved in that spat for the lead and came home fourth for the 46. We'll talk to Matt Gruenberg and others here in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to Sim TV. We're here with race winner Matt Gruenberg. Matt, you sat on pole, slipped back through the middle of the race as the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw dominated most of the event, but you clawed your way back forward and took the lead away from Johnny Thomas in the closing laps. Tell us about that race and that battle you had there with the other three guys around you.
Yeah, that was one of the most fun races I've ever had. I was definitely up on the wheel the whole time. I was working for it. I was, sweating a little bit in the car. That was a great battle with Johnny there at the end. I knew my only shot was to slide job and kind of, slide up in front of him to where he couldn't perform the slide job back on me. I know he got in the wall a little bit coming off of 1 and 2, and I was like, well, that's my opportunity to finally get by him, and it finally worked. And then he was right on me to the very end, and it was definitely sweating bullets there. But all in all, that was a great race. It was the most fun I ever had in iRacing. And a huge shout out to Johnny and Peter and Kyle. They all ran a great race.
We saw a lot of the drivers really aiming for that high lane there, but it looked pretty glassy up there as well. Was the grip right up against that cushion on the outside wall, or could you use the bottom in the middle to make your way forward if you needed to?
It was definitely a slide job only if you were going to pass anyone. Other than that, the top was going to be the way to go. The cushion, just the way that you put the right rear tire on it helps the car turn. It was just too much for the bottom lane to keep up with. So you really just had to time your slide jobs perfectly to just get right in front of them before they could turn down and cross you over. So Definitely made it tough, but it was well worth it when it actually worked for you.
All right, well, it was a blast to watch you, Matt, and we've noted your success in the Truck Series coming in late, but definitely one to beat here in the Triple Crown. Thanks for talking to us, and congrats on a victory.
Yep, thank you, and thanks to Austin for the paint this week. Huge shout out to him.
All right, Matt, have a good night. Thanks for talking.
Thanks.
Next on the list, we'll be talking to Johnny Thomas, driver of the number 83. Johnny, I know you got to be a little bit disappointed with how that ended, but you had a real strong car and just came up a couple laps short of pulling the victory away. What did you need to finish one spot better?
Yeah, it's good to be back with you guys. Fortunately, I couldn't get the W tonight. I'm pretty disappointed about that, but you're kind of riding on an edge there, and if you hit it a certain way, you can pick up speed. If you hit it a different way, you slow down, and I think with 6 to go, I hit the wall coming out of, I don't know, it was out of 2 or 4, and Matt got a big run on me, and he cleared me, and that's what you had to do here. You just kind of had to wing it down there into turn 1 or turn 3, and hopefully he can slide up into the guy, and that's what he did, and he definitely earned it. I think he was the fastest car on the track tonight, but it's fun to do a little bit of dirt racing. I definitely enjoy it, but I wish we could have got the W tonight.
Yeah, we saw you start back from 8th place, and you moved your way forward pretty organically and got yourself up into 2nd and then eventually the lead. But where was the best spot to pass? Did you feel like you had to knock people out of the way in the outside lane, or were you better off trying to pull sliders on the bottom?
I was doing a really good job at putting my nose in there up top on the high lane right before I got into turn 3 or turn 1, and those guys would either cut you off or they would have to go down to the middle lane. So I was making a lot of passes early on. I think from 4th to 8th, I could get those guys super easy. But once you got to the top guys in this dirt series, it's a little bit harder. You got to do the slide job.
All right, Johnny. Well, it's awesome to watch you get another top 3 here at a dirt track. We know, I think you won the truck race here at Eldora a couple months ago, so we know you like this place a lot and you're pretty good at it. But thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
All right, we certainly did. Have a great night.
Yep.
Next guy in the booth will be Peter Short, driver number 22. And Peter, I have to admit, we were watching qualifying, and I thought, Peter, this is not really his style of racing. He was extremely successful in the trucks, but dirt might not be his thing. But you proved me wrong. Came from pretty far back on the grid, and you ended up sitting there in 3rd place after an intense battle for the lead. Tell us about your race and how you proved me wrong here tonight. It was awesome to watch you climb that far forward.
Yeah, we had a terrible qualifying lap, but we hit the wall both laps, and iRacing DQ'd both those laps. So we starting in the back, P16. It kind of just played into our favor. We had the high line on a few restarts and able to work our way up, and we had some pretty good pace. If I could keep the darn car off the outside wall, maybe I'd be a little bit faster, but not super talented on these dirt races. At least I don't have that much experience with them. Just found the high line tonight. The high line was definitely the faster of the 2 lines. The low line, unfortunately, never really came in. Although we saw a few people make passes, which was exciting from where I was sitting, because sitting there in P4 and then later on P3, it was super exciting. I was just kind of running a line that I thought the 2 people in front of me wouldn't run there in the last few laps, just in case they got into each other, because I saw that earlier in the race when some cars got into each other in front of me, and it's really hard to stop these cars. As soon as you put on the brakes, the car wants to kick sideways. So I tried to be where they weren't if they were to get together, and all in all, just a good run up to P3. It was really fun battling through the field and getting to experience those last few laps.
All right, Peter Short. Well, it's great talking to you. Congratulations on a nice, solid 3rd place finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem. All right, and last but certainly not least will be the driver of the number 46. That'll be Kyle Hanshaw. Kyle, dominant car of the night, started out in 2nd spot, pulled the lead away for the majority of the race, and got in a scuffle there with the other 3 guys around you. Had some damage and slipped back a little bit and ultimately finished 4th. Tell us about your night and what you needed to get a couple spots back and take that victory.
Well, I didn't really practice that much, but I don't think that would have made a difference. I'm pretty comfortable when it comes to the dirt side of 3 wide. But that first initial caution that came out, I think it was, I forget his name. He tried to pull a slider on me coming out of 2, and I didn't see him, and I was full throttle, and I wall climbed it there, and I think I got damage from that. And then just from battling with those 3 other guys, we just from banging off of one another and then hitting the wall there. I screwed my steering up and just couldn't really get the lead back after that. It was going to be pretty impossible to pull that one off. But, I mean, all in all, it was a heck of a race. You guys probably had a hell of a broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Yeah, it was fun racing with these guys up front.
It certainly looked like it. Do you think that if the bottom or if the top side hadn't been so worn in that you might have had better luck on the bottom, or was the track state not really much of a factor in how this race played out tonight?
We were just talking about that. I think it would have been a better race if we slicked it off more. I think that bottom groove, guys could have worked it a little better if it was more slick all the way from bottom to top. Because, yeah, it was just a top-feeding racetrack all night. You just kept the momentum up there. You were golden. But unless guys tried to pull sliders, Johnny pulled a hell of a slider on me there, and I had to get out of the gas or we were going to both wreck. So, but, yeah, I would have liked to have seen it a little slicker. I think it would have put on an even more better race. But all in all, it was a good night.
All right, Kyle. Well, certainly not a bad night for you at all. And we got 2 more weeks of this, so we look forward to seeing you battling out for the lead again. Thanks for talking to us, and have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. All right, Finney. Well, I'm out of breath. These dirt races we've seen on Saturday at Lima Land with the Midwest Late Model Racing Series and here tonight. Crazy stuff. I see why there's so many fans of this kind of racing.
Yeah, I saw some fantastic action from those top 4 drivers throughout pretty much the second half of that race. They're all fighting for a position and swapped back several times between a lot of those guys, and Grunberg was the one who ended up on top. But yeah, fantastic show, and expecting pretty much the same next week as we are headed to. I should have had this pulled up.
I think it was Kokomo, was it not? It was one of the two.
Yep, Kokomo.
Kokomo. So I don't own that track, so one of us got to buy it.
I have it.
Hey, nice. You got everything. Kokomo Speedway next week, and tomorrow night we race Indy cars at Iowa for the IndyCar Triple Crown from 3Wide. So look forward to doing some open wheel action tomorrow. Basically the exact opposite of what we're doing here tonight. And then Tuesday we're back with the Fuel Cup Series playoffs from Talladega. Wednesday we're back with Virtual Mars action from Virginia International Raceway. And Friday is Hardline Cup Series action from Michigan. And then VRL is at New Hampshire on Saturday. So that's what's coming up next week. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Have a great night.